Cosmology is the science that deals with how the universe was formed and structured. We get our cosmology from Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. On the first day in the religion of antiracism, their religion says that white people created whiteness.
That's right.
Let's move on to new material now. The second day. On the second day, according to the religion of antiracism, white people created white privilege. This is a quote from Peggy McIntosh, one of the leaders of these movements.
She created the word white privilege.
Unbelievable. She says this: I think whites are carefully taught to not recognize white privilege, as males are taught not to recognize male privilege. So I have begun in an untutored way to ask what it is like to have white privilege. I have come to see white privilege as an invisible package of unearned assets that I can count on cashing in each day, but about which I was meant to remain oblivious. White privilege is like an invisible, weightless knapsack of special provisions, maps, passports, code books, visas, clothes, tools, and blank checks. So basically, if you have white privilege, you'll never be able to know or see that you have it.
Yeah.
Only others can see that you have it, and you will remain oblivious until the day you die.
And what people need to understand is that white privilege and the way that she's framed it is a myth. It's a total myth. It doesn't exist.
Explain that,
Not
because
in this
that's
way.
such a controversial statement.
It is. So Thomas Sowell, we've talked about him before on the program. Long story short, he's a genius. He's a statistician. This is what he does for a living. Here's an article from Real Clear Markets quoting him. This article is from last year. The Migration Policy Institute reported in 2015 that Nigerian immigrants have a higher median household income than other Americans and are more likely to have a college degree, a master's degree, a PhD, or a professional degree, and to be employed in professional or managerial occupations. And here's some more recent information. In 2018, Nigerian Americans had a median household income of $68,000, higher than the almost $62,000 for overall U.S. households. Why is this important?
Because it destroys the theory.
Yes. So some contend, going on with the article, that Nigerian immigrants and their children are different from other black Americans. But as Thomas Sowell has noted, the theory that blacks on average are poorer because their skin color subjects them to racism cannot distinguish these immigrants and their children from other Americans with the same skin color. Racism isn't preventing these immigrants and their children from moving ahead, so it can't be the reason that blacks on average trail economically. So why? Why are they trailing economically? Well, this is Sowell's opinion. Rather than racism, Sowell has highlighted a different factor as the big break on black success. While most black children, this is a quote, were raised in two-parent families prior to the 1960s, with the rise of the welfare state today, the great majority of black children are raised in one-parent families. So Census Bureau data show that in 1960, this is important, 1960, that is almost 100 years after the abolition of slavery. Why is that important? Because so many people will look at the state of marriages in the black family today, and they'll say, because during the time of slavery, families were broken up, that the oppression of our country dismantled the idea of marriage in the black family. Well, in 1960, 100 years after the abolition of slavery, only 22% of black children lived with a single parent. So what, 78% of families were not broken up? Compared with
two-parent households, yeah.
Compared with 7% of white children. By 2019, 51% of black children lived with only one parent compared to 21% of white children.
What a difference.
It's insane. Research studies summarized by a July 2020 U.S. Congress Joint Economic Committee report show that those who are not raised in homes with married parents are more likely to experience physical, emotional, or sexual abuse, have worse health, exhibit more aggression, to engage in delinquent behavior, have lower educational achievement, earn less as adults, and to live in poverty. That's why God established the family. The first governing unit in any government is the family that was ordained and established by God. When you destroy the family, you destroy the heart of government.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And that's what's happened in the black family.
And it's interesting that the black families in America were doing so amazing in 1960. And so what changed between that and 2019? The Great Society, Lyndon B. Johnson. In the mid-1960s, he unrolled the welfare systems, which disproportionately affect minority groups.
That's right.
And so really, if there is a system that was created with true systemic racism, it's that of the Democratic Party.
That's right. That's right.
It's that of the Democratic Party. they're the ones that have created a disadvantage for minorities by enslaving them to DC and their political party.